information from our boy McShay. He and Mensch are out there. They were on our show last week, but they're out in L.A. For the draft. And this time of year, somebody like Todd gets a ton of phone calls. And it's kind of a give and take between him and NFL organizations. I know for a fact Todd might not talk about it too much because he's humble and keeps it close to the vest. But like some of those teams actually lean on Todd for some grades and stuff and his feedback and what he sees. And he gets information from them in the meantime. And a piece of information he got, remember, he talked to us last week. Of course, we're talking about Shedeur Sanders. And Todd talked to us last week about the fact that what the Giants are doing, flying from Boulder to Tuscaloosa to wherever Jackson Dart is, right? They looked at all these quarterbacks last week because they really want to figure out if they will take a quarterback, who's it going to be. So it was kind of downplayed a little bit. Like, yeah, the Giants did go see Shedeur in Colorado, but hold the phone. They're just doing their due diligence. Now, as things start to narrow as far as the time window before the draft, Todd released some new information about Shedeur Sanders. One, he talked about connecting with folks within the Giants organization. And there is a push now on the Giants personnel side for Shedeur Sanders. Joe Shane, obviously their general manager, who I feel like is looking to atone with the splash this year after he publicly, right, the Giants were on Hard Knocks during the offseason, and he tells his owner, John Mara, that it's all good, that they're going to get rid of Saquon Barkley. And we saw what Saquon did. I mean, come on, right? With my Eagles, as I wear my Raiders shirt. Don't judge me. But so that was just a really big deal. And talk around the NFL and around New York is that the Mara family is done. They're just overseeing the Jets on the back page of the Post all the time. And even though the Jets aren't hitting home runs, at least they're drumming up publicity in the number one television media market in the entire world, New York City, right? That New York metropolitan area. So Joe Shane and members of the personnel department are leaning towards Shedeur Sanders. Some people banging the table louder than others, right? On the football side, Brian Daboll, and on the football side, I mean coaching staff, apparently is not crazy about taking him, this is some of the friction we see, right? We just saw it with the Denver Nuggets, where both parties were fired. Calvin Booth and Mike, what's his last name? Mike Malone. They couldn't get along. They didn't see eye to eye. Calvin Booth drafts guys who are young. Mike Malone doesn't want to play them. They implode after winning a title just 2 years after. And the Giants are nowhere near that level of success, or they have not been. So they're even probably walking towards more dangerous territory, both the GM, right, Joe Shane, and the head coach, Brian Daboll. So it's really important that the Giants win now. And there is a world where they could take Shedeur Sanders and also start someone like Russell Wilson. We'll have to wait and see. But there is a real, should I say, there's a real possibility that Shedeur goes at 3 to New York. Now, Scotty and I talked about this. News has also been released through the Sanders crew that he is not going to be in Green Bay for the draft. Why would you want to go to Green Bay? Well, it's a springtime. It's beautiful. It's a great place to visit. Amazing experience there. You go to Green Bay, you hit Lambeau Field. You hope it's not going to be freezing cold whenever you're going. It is almost I would try to, I want to use the right word, a majestic situation there. It really is. So that's where the draft's going to be. But Shedeur's not going to be there. Neither is Jackson Dart, which tells you something. And this brings us to our next point. Can you roll the video about, this is Todd McShay talking about Shedeur Sanders and the possibility that he will go to play for the Saints. Saints pick 9, and there's been a ton of heat around the Saints taking Shedeur at 9. Let's listen.
And it got confirmed today, and I didn't need confirmation because I knew. I kind of confirmed it for the other side. New Orleans is not taking Shedeur at 9. And in fact, New Orleans isn't taking Shedeur probably at 40. I'll say it again. New Orleans probably isn't taking Shedeur at 40 if he was there, okay?
Okay, so Giants are like probably, and honestly, like overall, it's probably less than 25% chance the Giants take him. And then you look at where he could go to New Orleans at 9. You just heard the word right there. They're not going to take him. So now you go all the way down to Pittsburgh at 21, and that is, nobody's really sure, right? So, but Mike Tomlin apparently really likes him. And, if you're Mike Tomlin and you like somebody, I feel like he's the alpha in just about every room he's in. So I feel like he swings a pretty big stick, even on the personnel side. Then you kind of fall out of the first round as far as teams that are in the market for a quarterback. But Scotty Swingler, this is when I bring it to you. And you have talked about this, and you reminded me of it today, and I'm pissed. We're going to have Matt Mosley join us tomorrow. Jerry is doing his pre-draft availability, so I want Mosley to talk to us about what he knows and what he's hearing, and with his history with Jerry Jones, what he thinks Jerry would do. But you feel like there's no way Shedeur gets past 12.
No way. Absolutely no shot. I might put money on it this weekend. I might.
Yeah, because odds are he won't go third. And we just heard
Right.
New Orleans won't take him.
Yeah. So I told you this like a week and a half ago, I think. I said whatever Shedeur's draft stock is, he's not dropping lower than 12 because Jerry Jones cannot resist the idea of having Deion's son play for the Cowboys. I promise. As much as there was all this Deion's going to come coach the Cowboys talk, right? Like, I promise you, Jerry Jones, if he has the final say, will make sure Shedeur Sanders is a Dallas Cowboy if he falls to 12. And I thought last week the biggest obstacle to that possibility was New Orleans. So the fact that McShay's hearing they're
he
out of the
said he
picture.
could confirm it, and he thought so before that even.
Well, and even in that clip we played, which was only 20 seconds long, he said it was such authority twice. Like,
yeah.
Listen, they wouldn't even take him at 40. So he's off their board, right? I as a Cowboys fan, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
It is a weaker draft. It's a swing. I've been a noteworthy Dak Prescott hater for a long time.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the idea. It would give us something to talk about all summer. It would be the most entertaining storyline for the next 3 years in the NFL.
And let me tell you something. This is not this is not hyperbole. This is what we know from Jerry Jones over all this time. And
I'm not being a fan. I'm really trying to be objective.
How would Stephen A. Smith say it though?
Oh my gosh. Are we doing this right now?
Yeah, how would Stephen A. Smith say that Jerry Jones won't let him get past?
Listen, I've known Jerry Jones for decades. The man is like a brother to me. He's a businessman. He's got the acumen of a shark. He's brilliant. And I'm going to tell you something. Those Dallas Cowboys can't stop getting in their own way. Jerry Jones can't resist Shedeur Sanders at 12.
There you go.
Something to that.
We've been sitting on that for a while. He does that all the time. Well, we're offline over here, and that was worth sharing. I put him on the spot there. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's usually an off-camera routine.
Yeah, but I believe that this is more of. I'll tell you what. I mean, as if we didn't already, but I know exactly what I'm doing Thursday night. I mean, I know exactly because this is one of those drafts that can kind of go a million different ways.
We really have no clue. Yeah, there's been a lot of drafts, and guys, the first round's always a 50-50 proposition, frankly. Like 50% of the guys are going to hit and 50% of them are going to bust. It's always that way, but usually most years you're like, okay, there's a clear top 10 or a clear top 6, and like this year it's like, okay, Cam Ward's going number 1. Everyone kind of knows that. Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are the next best 2 prospects that are probably not going to bust.
Yeah.
No idea after that. No idea. Like, we really have no clue.
Speaking of the draft, and we're going to get to Baylor next, talk about a huge prospect that they landed just this past week or this past weekend. But back to the draft real quick. Did you see the Justin Blackmon stuff?
No.
Such a bummer. He got arrested for being drunk in public.
Recently?
Like over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was in Oklahoma.
Is he back in Stillwater?
I don't know. But so he was probably one of the most exciting one of the most talented college football wide receivers ever.
Yeah,
Almost
1,000%.
played 2 years or 3 years for the Jaguars and just faded out. And it just shows how fleeting the draft can be. Like how much of a gamble
Nobody's
it
a
is.
sure thing.
Yeah, nobody. And you hope he's going to be fine. And I think honestly, like just my quick assessment of the mugshot, he got a public intoxication. The mugshot, like we all don't look great in mugshots, or at least people like us with experience. Remember, 13 years sober. So there's a lot of stuff I got into that I've toned for since. But I saw it and I was like, man, it's a heartbreaker. And again, like I really hope the guy figures out what's going on with him and makes the right steps to because he can certainly turn his life around if